Some animated films are so beloved and held in such high regard that the ravenous fans demand for more long after the series has ended. Despite some shows being out of the public eye for so long, that demand is still high, and lately we've seen a lot of revivals. Nostalgia is indeed a cruel, twisted beast. So, here's 4 animated film revivals. Hello, I'm Zach Bishop, and this is 4 Films. One of the best sci-fi cartoon series of all time is Simpsons creator Matt Groening's Futurama. After the first series finale on August 10th, 2003, the show was dormant, with whispers and cries from the fans demanding for its resurrection. On November 27th, 2007, the world received Bender's Big Score. While filled with aliens and time-traveling robot shenanigans and a great cameo from Al Gore, this film has something kind of off about it. It's hard to describe. I don't know about most fans, but I know for myself as a fan, when I first watched it, I was a little underwhelmed. It seemed like it still retained some of its Futurama charm, but the passage of time made them a little rusty on the execution. But fortunately, this film did lead to 3 more revival films. The next being The Beast with a Billion Backs, which is probably the worst of the films, followed by Bender's Game, which is a really good one, and Into the Wild Green Yonder as the last film, which is probably the best one and sets it up for the next season to come. That one feels the most like the Futurama that we know and love. So after getting a 6th and 7th season, we said farewell to Futurama once again in 2013, with its 2nd series finale. But, for how long? Next up is Rocko's Modern Life, Static Cling. This aired on Netflix on August 9th, 2019, 23 years after the show had ended. In the film, Rocko and friends return to Earth after being adrift in space for 20 years. Some things are the same, but other things are different. It's all very meta, and it's perfectly fine. It's not great, it's not amazing, but it's totally okay. A lot of the same jokes are there from before, and a lot of updates to them. Along with the changing times, some changes have been made as well. It's actually very nice to see all the characters again, and it reminds us of why Rocko's Modern Life was such a good show in the first place. It made me want to rewatch the whole show just from that little special. And if it is a conclusion to the series, it is fitting because it shows how life goes on, and sometimes you need to grow and change. Third up is Hey Arnold, The Jungle Movie. Airing on November 27th in 2017, the movie picks up 13 years after the show ended in 2004. Although in the film, not much time has passed. The Jungle Movie answers a lot of questions on the actual status of Arnold's parents, and you finally get answers and conclusions to certain plot lines. And this film was actually pretty good. It captured all the charm and weirdness of the characters of Hey Arnold, and it gave you a pretty sweet ending. But to me, the most astonishing thing is the body count. That's right. A lot of people die in this film. At least 7. I mean, there's wild animals, machete fights, and booby traps. Shit gets real, and they all get real dead. So aside from all that death, it really is a great experience and worth a watch. I felt content to say, hey Arnold, good job, footballhead. Last, and certainly the best, is Invader Zim, Enter the Florpus. Holy shitballs, this movie is damn near perfect. This film aired on Netflix on August 16th, 2019, 17 years after the show ended in 2002. This show hit all the right notes. The animation, the humor, the cast, they all kicked ass, took names, put those names in a little book, burned that book so no one would know that those asses were kicked so hard that they ceased to exist. Is that an overstatement? Probably, but I don't care because this movie was great. It really didn't miss a beat. It felt as if the show had never left and that Jonah Vasquez had been writing the show this whole time. And it definitely fulfilled everything a fan would want or need from a revival like this. This is the case in point for these kind of revivals. And I do appreciate that these aren't remakes or reboots, they're just an actual continuation, but they've been done intelligently. They actually continue the story and tie up loose ends, and they conclude a lot of these series, which sometimes that's all you need. But really, I could go on and on about this film because it is that good. It's very funny and action-packed and even a little sweet, which I did not expect from Invader Zim. The storyline between Div and his father is actually very, very sweet. It's adorable. You could say that this is Zim perfected, but I think it's Zim evolved. They took everything good from the past and moved it onto a conclusion in the future. A lot of times nostalgia will play a role in how you feel about things. You just want that feeling to come back. But a film like this actually captures that feeling and says, look, we can move forward with this. We don't need to be stuck back then. Because that ends up being a very lonely place. That review just made me realize that I'm so sad and alone. There's nothing here for me in this dark world of the future, where I have to be an adult sometimes. What will I do?
Do it for your old man, boy.
What's that, Simpsons? I have to move on, don't I? Yes, you're right, I know. But thank you. Thank you ever so much for showing me the error of my ways. But the only way that I can truly grow and go on is to keep you here in my heart and venture out into the world. So thank you once again, Simpsons. Thank you from the bottom of my soul. You've made me the man I am today. Is this weird? Am I too close? Yeah.